Have you ever sat down to meditate and found that all the time you were trying to force your mind to be quiet? You command it to be quiet, but the more you command it, the louder it gets. You try to control your breathing, try to eliminate thoughts, try to stop anger, try to be in the present, and all these efforts just exhausting. Why? Because the one who is trying to control is just another form of mind. Nisargadatta Maharaj himself said, "You cannot control the mind, because the one who tries to control is the mind." This is one of the deepest truths that most spiritual seekers miss. They think meditation is about control, about elimination, about mastery. But in Advaita Vedanta, every attempt at mastery is an expression of duality. There is a me who controls and a mind who is controlled. As long as I is separate from mind, you are still in the cycle of illusion. You are trying to awaken with the unenlightened ego. It is like a dream trying to awaken itself. It only creates another dream, more subtle, more beautiful, and more spiritual. This, according to Maharaj, is the core mistake of most yogis. He once said, "Stop trying to change. See clearly what is happening and know that you are not it." This sounds simple, but it is a revolution in consciousness. When you stop trying to control, you begin to see. And in that moment, the seer, the seen, and the act of seeing become one. That is when you begin to understand what Maharaja meant. You are not the mind. You are the awareness of the mind. In ancient Indian tradition, this is called Chidakasha, the space of awareness. The mind, emotions, thoughts are all just passing clouds in the sky of Chidakasha. You need not chase the clouds, nor chase them away. The sky does not need to control the clouds. It is just itself, vast, silent, tolerant. Maharaja once said, "There is no need to control, because what needs to be controlled is temporary." Know yourself as the unchanging. In every effort at meditation, there is only one question you need to keep in your heart. Who is trying to control? If you go to the bottom of that question, you will find that there is no one. Only pure awareness illuminating everything that is happening. You are always that, the secret of pure awareness. Nisargadatta Maharaj never taught his disciples how to attain enlightenment. He only taught them to realize that they were already enlightened. He said, "You are that. You have always been that. The only problem is that you forget." So what is that? In Advaita Vedanta philosophy, that Tat is Brahman, the absolute reality, which is neither born nor destroyed, neither comes nor goes. When we say, "I am that, Tat Tvam Asi," we are saying that our deepest nature and the nature of the universe are one. This is not a religious belief. It is a direct experience when you realize that I am no longer separate from anything. When you see thoughts arise and pass away within you, you realize that you are not the thoughts. When emotions arise, you just observe. When the body hurts, you are still the one who knows that the body hurts. And then, in that moment of awareness, you suddenly realize, this knowing everything never changes. It is the foundation of all experience, but it is not itself controlled by experience. It is the true self, beyond the little self you think you are. In I Am That, Maharaj says, you know that you are. Before you know anything else, you know that I am. Stay with I am, and that is the door to the infinite. The I am is not the ego self. I am this, that. It is the pure feeling of being, without definition, without object. Try to stop for a few seconds and just feel I am. Do not add anything after it. No, I am someone, just I am. If you stay with this feeling long enough, you will see that everything else, thoughts, emotions, memories, identities, come and go within it. And this is your natural state, not something you have to achieve. When Maharaj was asked, "How do I control my mind?" he replied, "Who wants to control the mind? Find him first." That is the starting point of all paths of awareness. When you turn the light of awareness to the observer, you begin to melt into the infinite silence. There is no controller, no mind controlled, only the vast knowing. And in that knowing, you realize something magical. You were never far from enlightenment. You were only dreaming that you were lost. Mistakes of practitioners. When you become the controller of the mind, I have met many people who have meditated for decades. They can sit still for an hour, breathing slowly. Their eyes are light, their faces are calm. But when I ask, who is sitting still? They are silent, then confused. In that moment, all their stillness collapses because they realize there is a person trying to be still. And it is that person trying that is the root of all disorder. 1. Ego, the most subtle controller in spirituality. Nisargadatta Maharaj once said, "The ego can wear the robes of a monk, a sage, but it is still the ego." The ego does not only appear in ambition, anger, or power. It also appears in meditation, in prayer, in the desire to become enlightened. When you say, "I want to attain a state of egolessness, I want my mind to be quiet," then in that very sentence, "I" is affirmed more strongly than ever. That is a paradox that very few people can see. The mind can meditate, can read scriptures, can chant mantras, but if the root is still, "I am the one doing," then all those actions are still within the cycle of the mind. Maharaj never encouraged people to control the mind. He only invited them to see the mind clearly. Because when there is someone controlling, someone being controlled, you are still in duality. In Advaita Vedanta philosophy, all duality is illusion, Maya. As long as you think, "I am meditating, I am controlling, I am quiet," you are not free from that illusion. 2. When meditation becomes the goal, you have lost meditation. Another common mistake is to make meditation a purposeful activity. You meditate to be still, to be pure, to reach a higher level, to awaken the Kundalini energy, to be at peace. All these are forms of spiritual desire. Maharaj said, "Desire, whether for good or evil, is a bondage. Desire to attain a state of meditation is also a bondage. When there is no one to attain, no place to go, no proof, that is true meditation." The paradox is, when you stop trying to meditate, meditation happens. When you stop trying to control your breath regulates itself. When you stop trying to push thoughts away, thoughts dissolve in the light of awareness. Because your nature, awareness, is already perfect, it does not need any editing. 3. The trap of the false observer. There is a stage in meditation that many practitioners encounter. They hear the teaching, become the observer, and then they start observing everything. They observe their thoughts, observe their emotions, observe their bodies. But in fact, there is a person trying to observe. That is the most subtle trap, the spiritual ego. That observer is still part of the mind. It is just behind the curtain and thinks itself higher. Maharaj calls it the gatekeeper of illusion. He says, when you think you are the observer, you have not transcended the mind. Only when the observer dissolves and there is only pure knowing, then you are truly free. Let me explain. If you sit and say silently in your mind, "I am observing my thoughts," then I and thought are still two entities. But if you are completely silent, not saying silently, not naming, just letting things go, then there is no who observing, only awareness of what is happening. 4. When the doer disappears, freedom arises. Maharaj teaches that the source of suffering is not in the thinking, but in the person who believes that he is the one who is thinking. Likewise, the root of all wrong spiritual efforts is not in the method, but in the person who believes that he is the one who is practicing. When you say, "I must meditate better, I need to be more calm," the I, the ego, is once again reinforced. You are feeding the very thing you want to overcome. But when you drop the idea of, "I am doing something," meditation becomes as natural as breathing. Stillness is no longer the result, but the innate nature, and the meditator dissolves into awareness itself. This is the state that Maharaj describes as beingness, pure being. It is not a trained stillness, but the natural stillness of not being done. I like another quote of his: "Let go of the idea that you are the doer. When there is no one to do, everything is perfect." Indeed, when you stop trying to do it right, meditate right, live right, a natural order arises, the order of the universe, of self. It knows how to breathe, how to function, how to express, without you controlling it. 5. Seeing without interfering, the first step of true freedom. A student of Maharaja once asked, "So what should I do when the mind is too chaotic?" Maharaj replied, "Do nothing, just see it. The mind will find order when you stop interfering." This is the great secret that meditators often do not believe, because the mind always thinks that it must do something to change. But as Maharaj says, it is the very act of doing that causes the disturbance. When you see a wave rising, you do not need to stop it, because if you are the ocean, the wave cannot disturb your peace. The only thing you need is to see clearly, seeing without judging, without resisting, without trying to transform. That seeing, pure, without will, is the sword that cuts through illusion. 6. When the mind is no longer controlled, it returns to its role as a servant. The mind, by its nature, is not bad. It only becomes miserable when you try to make it your master. When you no longer try to control the mind becomes humble. It returns to its natural position, a tool, not a master. When you are in awareness, the mind works silently, clearly, precisely, untainted by fear or ambition. It is no longer a troublemaker. It becomes a faithful servant of awareness. That is why Maharaj says, "Let the mind do its work, and you remain in your own nature. Do not identify. Then you no longer need to control the mind, because it no longer needs to be controlled. Just as a child is naturally calm when no one tries to calm it." 7. Freedom does not come from control, it comes from awareness. Freedom is not the ability to control thoughts, but the ability to see clearly that you are not thoughts. Freedom does not come from quieting emotions, but from realizing that emotions are just waves on the surface of awareness. And since you are the ocean, no wave can swallow you whole. When this is understood, the seeker becomes deeply relieved. There is no more inner battle, no more fighting with oneself. All that remains is the causeless clarity and stillness. That is that. Truth is beyond all control. Maharaj, when you stop doing, truth reveals itself. Because you are truth. 1. All control is in time. The first thing Maharaj points out is, all control happens in time. When you try to control, you are assuming that there is an imperfect present condition, and there is a better future that you want to reach. But truth, that which is immutable, is not in time. It is not in your future, nor in the past of memory. It exists only in the now, and the now cannot be controlled. Maharaj says, you cannot reach what has always been here. You can only stop believing that you are not in it. When we try to control the mind, we are in the realm of time, where there is progress, there is improvement, there is a goal. But Atman has no process, because it does not change. How do you reach that which has no destination? How do you control that which is immovable. Trying to control only proves that you have not seen what is. Because if you really see, you will understand that there is nothing to control. 2. Knowing, never be controlled. Nisargadatta Maharaj often asked his disciples, "Can you control the faculty of knowing? Can you make yourself stop knowing? Try stopping knowing for a second. It is impossible. Whether you think or not think, whether you are happy or sad, whether you are asleep or awake, knowing is there. That knowing cannot be controlled because it is not subject to will. It just is. That is why Maharaja says, you need not try to be. You already are. You need not try to know. You already know. You just see this. When you understand that awareness is the only thing that cannot be controlled, you will begin to rest in it. And when you rest in awareness, everything else becomes calm by itself. The mind does not need to be forced to be still. It is still because no one is trying to make it still. Like water that is calm by itself when no one is stirring it. 3. The untouchable and what you really are. Maharaja once said, whatever you can observe is not you. You can observe the body, so you are not the body. You can observe the emotions, so you are not the emotions. You can observe the mind, so you are not the mind. So what is it that is observing all this? It is that awareness, pure awareness. I am. It cannot be touched because it is the toucher. It cannot be seen because it is the seer. It cannot be controlled because it is the ground in which all control occurs. This may sound abstract, but it is very real. Because when you truly realize that you are uncontrollable, you will also understand that there is nothing outside you. And when there is no outside, control is meaningless. You do not control the breath. The breath is happening within you. You do not control the flow of thoughts. They come and go in the space of awareness. Even this body, you are not the owner of it. It is operating according to the natural order of the universe. The truth that transcends all control is this. There is no one to control and nothing needs to be controlled. Silence cannot be created. Many people ask Maharaj, how can I attain absolute silence? He smiles and replies, you cannot attain it because you are it. The silence you seek is not a state of emptiness, of no thought. It is the fundamental nature of all phenomena. Even when thoughts arise, silence is there, like the sky is there even when clouds pass by. What you call silence is not the absence of sound, but the stillness of awareness amidst all movement. When you know yourself as that still awareness, no sound, no thought, no emotion can disturb you. You do not need to create silence. You just need to realize that you have never left it.